Hi everyone, it's Roger and Abe here for episode number 34 of the Disney Infinity and Beyond webcast presented by DisKingdom.com. So I'm here in a grey and dreary Britain, and then we have Abe there in sunny California.
It's dark and there's a moon. There's no sun right now. It's midnight.
But it will still be warmer outside than it will be all day here in the UK today.
True. Okay, so it's still sunny, I guess.
Yeah, it's freezing out there. Right, okay. So on this week's show, we're going to be doing a little bit of blue sky predictions, sort of general discussion about power discs for Disney Infinity 3.0, basically for the next version of the game. Now, by no means, all of this is purely our own thoughts. No inside information, no confirmed or anything. So we are just going to be discussing power discs and how we feel about them. So we're going to talk about what we want, what we don't want, and just in general having a bit of a discussion about power discs. So, Abe, what's your first thoughts on what you'd like to see? What you'd like to see, a few discs that you'd like to see in the next version of the game.
Okay, well, I have this amazing idea that I've actually been wanting to talk about. However, I'm not going to talk about that right now because you guys might steal it and then just sell it to Disney. So I'm just kidding. I'm kidding. I'll talk about it because I think it's really cool. But I'll share that one a little bit later because I think it's really cool. So I'll share one of the things that I've always been wanting. And I've actually messaged this a long time ago. Obviously, figure-wise, we've already talked about that. But power disc-wise, I've always wanted Herbie. Now, for all of you little younglings out there who have no idea what I'm talking about, it's the love bug. It's a little Volkswagen Beetle. It's a older movies that they've made. I don't know how long ago, but it's just this little Volkswagen Beetle. And it'd just be cool to be a rideable car in the game. It would be so cool. I don't know if it's possible because it's an actual brand, but per se, it's still Herbie. I'm sure Volkswagen wouldn't be giving them a big issue about that.
See, I want him as a figure. As Lightning McQueen to drive around in. If I'm gonna have Herbie, I want him properly. I don't want him as a power disc. He's a character.
I mean, I get it. He's alive, but he doesn't have eyes and talks like the Lightning McQueen does. But yeah, you know what? Man, I guess you can go both ways. You can. Yeah, I don't know. That's
just a pair spoken on that one.
It would be kind of cool if they actually made, Cars 3 and they included Herbie. That would be awesome. Because Cars 3 is coming in the future. And we got to write a letter to John Lasseter and let him know. But and also going off of vehicles too. One vehicle that I would like to see in the game for sure, and this is not a live figure, so don't worry about that. But the Indiana Jones Jeep from the ride in Disneyland, and I believe they also have it in Japan. It would be such a cool vehicle. Not only would it be like a vehicle where you ride and you turn and it turns, but I want it to actually move like the ride. Like I want it to actually move around like that when you're driving in Infinity. That would be so cool. Yeah, but those are two of my ideas that I'll start off, but I don't want to keep talking. So, Roger, what about you? What ideas do you have?
In terms of just generally what I'd love to see, I mean, I'd love to see some kind of, I'd like to see some Star Wars vehicles. I'd think like an X-Wing like we saw with the Avenger Jet would be pretty cool. But I'm going to kind of throw a little bit of a side curveball here, and we discussed it on a previous show. I want them to merge Skydomes and terrains together. For one particular reason. One, save on discs. If you're only going to bring out 30 Star Wars discs or 40 Disney discs, don't use up half your amount on the terrains and the Skydomes. You put the Skydome down and you get the option of selecting what you want. I just think with the amount of items they're coming out with, either that or here's the other idea, don't put them in as power discs and leave them for more fun stuff. But I'd love to see more costume changes. That's something I think was something that they did in 2.0. has got huge potential, has got lots of options. It's in so many things they can do with them. They've got a lot more space to do that with a lot more characters. I mean, they can even go back and do, Spider-Man has got, they could probably do 10, 15, 20 power discs on him alone. Especially with the Marvel ones, there's a lot more sort of bits and pieces. But say you've got Luke Skywalker figure coming out at some point, you could have Tatooine version, you could have Jedi version, you could have, you can have all kinds of different things. You could have
Fighter pilot
Yoda,
version.
Yoda and Ghost Yoda, or you've got, I mean, they could do that as a crystal,
hologram Yoda.
but a crystal figure. But there's this kind of thing of there's a lot of potential to go, and they can go back and do characters from the first game, the second game. They can just keep going back. And I thought when they brought those power discs from the first game for like Mr. Incredible and Jack and Captain Jack, they gave a little bit of life to the new characters. I'd also like to see those costume changes just apply to more than one figure. Maybe if you put that, obviously it makes sense, if you put down like the Three Musketeers that turned Sorcerer Mickey into it. Though it would be kind of cool to see Captain America running around dressed up as Santa Claus or something like that. That kind of thing of like maybe make it a little bit more fun, maybe make it less. I mean, I understand why they've done it with the costume change, but maybe free it up. It's like wearing like a Skylander hat where they can put on every character, just to be fun. There's no reason in the toy box. Nothing it doesn't always have to fit. Anything works. So those are kind of more generic things straight off the bat of just the costume change. I don't know what you think about those costume change ideas.
Well, yeah, you totally tapped into one thing that I really wanted with the costume changes was just one universal costume change disc that works for every character. And you don't have to be, a full-on outfit. It could be something simple like a hat or like a mustache or something like, something that's fun, something that everybody could use. So I do think that the whole combining of sky and terrain would be also such a great idea too. I remember you bringing up the fact that you just want them to be in the game in general, but I guess the only reason why they do it that way is because it also adds to the hard to find one is because it's in a power disc, type of thing. But like you said, combining would be a great idea. I think another thing that I would like to see is, and this is talking about things that they should improve, I wish they could conserve some of the features that the power discs give. And here's one example. In 1.0, when you had the what was it? I don't know if there was a specific name, but it was the Muppets vehicle.
Yeah.
It's like the school bus or whatever. Mm-hmm. When you drive around, it used to hear music, and you used to hear you could hear like animal in the background or whatever. In 2.0, when you lay that down, there's no music, there's no sound effects. You're just driving around. Yeah, so in fact, this is a long project that I kind of wanted to try. Basically play the disc on 1.0 and play on 2.0 and see what we're missing. For example, Mickey's Jalopy. Again, we lose the music from 1.0 and 2.0. So it's unfortunate, but
boombox.
Yeah. The point being is I wish they conserved all the music and everything. But anyways, going off of that, in 3.0 I hope to see more I guess interactive effects from each disc that you put down. I mean, something that'll cause sound effects, music, or even different characters using an object. Maybe they have different interactions with the object. I know it's a little bit more complex and more coding, but I think it'd be kind of fun and it'd kind of add a little extra twist to these features. But one thing that I would like to see is some team-up discs for Disney. I know that with Disney you have a lot of characters that we want as figures, but there's some side characters, they're like secondary characters that you just don't really need as figures, and it'd be kind of cool to see them as a team-up disc.
Yeah, like a Cinderella and a mice attack.
Yeah, exactly. Like we're not going to see a Gus Gus, or we're not going to see them as actual figures. So yeah, exactly. That'd be kind of cool. More event discs. Those were kind of cool, but you can almost group them into the team up disc category per se. But you know, obviously, because you don't have an actual character doing it. But as far as the power disc go, definitely we need to stop with the horses. There's too many horses. Way too many horses. I mean, this is how bad it is that we already had enough horses, and they gave us a carousel horse. I mean, like they even give us a ride vehicle horse. We no more horses. Whoa, there's so many great things out there. I mean, they could be saving these characters or for potential 3.0, 4.0 four-legged figures. So who knows? But regardless of the fact, yeah, just stop with the horses. Yeah.
I think for me, I always find like the vehicles and the mounts. I have this thing with Infinity where I feel like things that are toy box like items that you should use, sky domes, terrains, and I even fit horses and sort of mounts in the vehicles. We can unlock them in the game anyway. So I feel like you're paying DLC for a horse or something like that. That should really be in the game. I liked when they brought in with 2.0 the power discs that were the fun adventure stuff that was not stuff that you got in the regular game. The costume changes, the event discs, the team ups. Those were things you couldn't do in the toy box already. If you put down a Boo's elephant, there's already an elephant in the game you can play. So I never really. It was like I always felt that should just been an unlock. The power discs to me should be something that are fun and unique that only the power disc brings in. Be it a boost, be it a collector's something. I always felt that it felt like really like bad DLC just to have like a vehicle as something that you should have as a power disc. Like the Hydra cycle. That could have just been an unlock, like Captain America's cycle. It didn't need a power disc. I know it's money and stuff, but to me, that was always the thing of like, well, I'm just buying. I don't want, I've brought the toy box. I'm unlocking stuff and going through it. I never want to see something like a building or a toy. But that's how with the Skydome, or specifically with the terrains, unlocking those plants that unlock those things. That feels like that shouldn't be a power disc. There's no. It's like you put those power discs. I use them a lot at the minute because if I'm building, but I don't. It's a hassle getting the power disc out, putting it on, going through the filters, finding it, and selecting it. And that doesn't feel like it should be a fun thing that you should be doing. The power disc should be bam, whack them down. People playing with them do stuff, and I think that was what they should be for. I mean, I use the same two power discs that give me a slight boost and collect all the stars around and all the sparks around me. And I have used the same two circle power discs for the entire year. Because, honestly, I don't see, there's so much stuff of it doesn't make any sense to me of why to use them, because they don't offer anything, the vehicles. I can get a helicopter, I can get a horse, there's a flack of a button, and I don't have to go grab a binder, put it down. I mean, obviously, if I was a kid, it could be a bit different, but that's for me personally.
Roger, but you gotta be a kid at heart. That fun and uniqueness that you're talking about in power discs. Like, who can put on their Disney Infinity, turn it on, and say like, "Oh, well, I have an Abu elephant. Do you have that?" No. So boom, you put it down. That's what the aspect is. I get it. I get it. You're the builder. You're the. Go ahead.
I understand the thing of being fun and that's what I want it to be. I want it to be the fun items. I want it to be the items that you can't do in the toy box. It should be something different. And I think those event discs and those costume changes and the team ups are examples of things that does perfectly well, where you can't do that in the toy box. And that's what I want to see. I want to see that. I don't want to see something that I should have just been able to have unlocked with 50 sparks. That doesn't feel like that's a good way of using the power discs going forward. You're just buying a toy that you should have just been able to have unlocked. Whereas that, you pop down that event disc and Captain Marvel drops in and starts fighting with you. That is something special. That's something that's fun and exciting and people can use.
I guess the only thing that I see is like imagine if Sven would have been an actual power disc and he would have been available in the toy box already. Like that would have been a really popular power disc to find. So it's like I guess it just depends on collectability, on what people want. But
But also,
I do see what you're saying though. You want it to bring in something new
but
that's not available.
but
I
I
get
was
that.
I was able to use Sven a lot more because he was a toy box unlock. I could use him in the vehicle mount in the vehicle, sort of, and I could make him pop up, and I could use him in a toy boxes, and I could allow him to be used. I've been doing the same this week with an elephant. I can use them because they're in the toy box. I can't do that with the top power disc if I've got this character that I can't actually use. I don't, because also if I allow then for that to be used in the toy box, they can change the theme, they can change the Skydome. So therefore, as a toy box artist, I'm locking it down so they can't use them. But I'd
Right.
love to be able to if you could put the disc down, and I went into the vehicle selector, and I then so someone pressed the button that item dropped in, and they could use it. It would be more useful. And I'm so glad they didn't do that with Sven. So that's where I'm looking at it again from a different angle.
I guess power discs aren't toy box artist friendly, but other than that, I mean, yeah, I see both sides of it. It's true. Um, but like you said, so let's talk about adding new things. Like what kind of new features would you want them to bring into the game? I'll go ahead and start off with this thing that I hinted earlier
Yeah.
about this idea that I have, like, oh, Disney, please be listening, do this, But so let's say this whole Star Wars thing happens for 3.0. Let's just say that's the thing. Um, with the announcement at Toy Fair of these interchangeable lightsabers, okay? Don't worry, I'm not going to talk about a lightsaber going like all different directions. No. I'm talking about the point of those toys, which is customization. I think it would be kind of cool if you had, a power disc that had a specific color and a lightsaber. And let's say you plop it down and all of a sudden, boom, your lightsaber is now the color that you chose on that disc. So let's say you had a blue lightsaber power disc. You put it down, and now your figure has the blue lightsaber as opposed to the green that we see in the game already. Another cool feature that I think would be cool for customization would be like, a dual blade. Like you put it down, boom, now you have two blades on your lightsaber as opposed to one. So it's just like a feature that you can customize the color of your lightsaber, and also either a dual blade or add a blaster to it, or something that you can control, customize via power disc. Um, and I feel like it would add something new as opposed to just saying, oh, here's a new weapon. No. I want Luke to have a purple lightsaber. So purple power disc, Luke comes down, his lightsaber is now purple. Oh, but I want him to have a blaster attached to it. Put the power disc that has the blaster attachment to it. And now you hit the trigger, and he also shoots. It's like, that would be kind of cool if this whole Star Wars thing happens. But that's just my idea. What do you think?
Well, I think I think weapons are another perfect example of something that power discs work well on. Pop down that space gun, pop down this, and you can play as, and you can, I would like for the for when you pop down a disc or a pack or something that it doesn't delete or remove the ability for to use that character's ability as well. You go to punch and suddenly you can't do what you wanted because you've got this hover flappy thing on the back that then you're doing something,
Yeah.
and you're flapping around trying to turn off the pack, and you whip the power disc off. So I'd like that to be something that they could maybe fit. But I think that is exactly. I think the packs and tools and the weapons are things that fit power discs better. The packs are a pain to get in and out of. You've got to bring up a menu, come in, flip it over, change it over. The power disc would make more sense for those kind of options. So, like you say, if you've got say like we originally had that lightsaber, is a perfect example of what would have been a cool power disc, And also, if you like you said, you could have the different colored options, or you just get a red. You could have a red power disc for the red one or whatever. But I think weapons and tools are exactly perfectly what you're saying there. Of they should be more power discs to me. Especially the packs. The packs are a pain the way they are, and I think they should be more power disc based than toy box, because you don't necessarily need them in. I mean, obviously, if you're trying to set up something and you want to use one, it's one thing. But I'd like the ability to use an option to turn them on. So if I, as a toy box artist, if I press that button and I want that person to have that gun, if I put the disc down, it should unlock it for everyone to use it. Obviously, if you go outside of that toy box, they can't use it because, and like a Skydome. But I think weapons and those kind of things fit the power disc zone a lot better than maybe a horse. So but as far as customization, I'm going to be honest. Customization to me has always been this thing that video games have brought in, and in all honesty, I don't really want customization. Where you can, like you can change all the outfits of a person, or you can change the colors of this and change. It's never something I particularly wanted. If I want, I want Luke Skywalker with a lightsaber. I want him as Luke Skywalker with a sky. I don't have that whole thing of, well, let's put him in a red outfit with a hat on, with a moustache, and then let's give him a lightsaber with, I don't know, a little bobble on the top or something. It doesn't. To me, customization isn't something I would like to see them get distracted with, because I feel. I remember playing like WWE games, and they had brought in all this custom build your own character and all this lot, and it's like, to me, it was never something I was that interested in. So customization is somewhere. I think it's fine having a costume change, but I don't want to have to go in and change everything. It's, that's me just with customization. Your lightsaber idea would just be.
It's a power disc idea. You know what I mean? It's that DLC thing that it's not required. But anyways, I like my idea.
Yeah.
I'd like to down, yeah. So
then that's fine. But that's the thing. It comes from a different side. I like that. I like the idea of the different colors. Like a lightsaber's got I think if you could have different color ones. I'd like to see them come up with like we're saying, like this power disc idea of, like, if they came out with a special twin pack or toy pack at say, like, we talked about this, like this new pack that's come out with these two of Falcon and Captain Marvel. What if at Christmas, if they released a pack of power discs with just the Christmas themes in, and it's just for Christmas, and it's a Skydome and a terrain, and maybe an outfit change or something like that, and it came out around Christmas, or they brought one out for Halloween. That kind of, it was. I don't mind if they did something like that with some power discs to kind of bring in, that's their way of doing DLC for like holidays and things. I think it would just be rather cool to have some options. I love the idea of them doing this twin pack, this pack that what you're going to get. I love the idea that they could maybe spread them out a bit better, maybe release them slightly differently, maybe not chuck everything into blind bags, give people a chance to pick up some ones later down the line. I think the blind bag system is something that they need to work on. They've made that improvement with the rares. That wasn't an issue with 2.0. But I don't know, just because we've always had them as blind packs doesn't mean that that's something that we should always carry on with. I don't know what you want to throw your hat into the bag on the actual way they're distributed.
Yeah, I agree. That's something that we've discussed so many times in the past. Just holiday specific, toy box or even power disc expansion packs. You know what I mean? That'd be kind of cool. And it doesn't have to necessarily be a huge giant wave of 40. I mean, it could be 2 or 4. It doesn't necessarily need to be a lot. But yeah, it has to be something that is available to everybody. That it's not blind. Obviously, what you're getting. I mean, it'd be kind of a cool thing to cater to those toy box artists who want to have a Christmas themed toy box, and you have nothing. You know what I mean? You can't really do anything because you don't have much. But then again, that's That's more so.
Very specific.
Yeah. So I don't know. That would be kind of cool though.
I think that's the idea of having something out at Christmas that is specifically Christmas themed. That's maybe even limited supply. Maybe even go that route of going right. There is only going to be this many, and once Christmas is over, they're gone. You know, that's the end of it. That's you know, I think that I always felt like with this power disc thing, kind of sliding onto a different thing was we had the rares with those Toys R Us, and it messed people up. People didn't like the way that Toys R Us handled those power discs, and they kind of pulled away from doing exclusive power discs, and this again is all down to this distribution point. They've is the blind bag the right way of distributing power disc as a whole?
Mm-hmm. Well, let's go back to your favorite topic, which is customization. Another idea that I had about power discs, and again, it's like a little accessory. It's a luxury. It's something that absolutely does nothing for the figure, nothing for the game, other than to add something to go with your character. And one of the ideas that I had was instead of team-up discs, there's also some figures that wouldn't make sense. There's certain characters that wouldn't make sense as a figure or as a team-up disc. But it'd be kind of cool to have them with you in the game, other than a little townsperson. But I was thinking like it's kind of funny. You're probably gonna laugh at it, but it's kind of like it's like a pet disc. And let me get into it a little bit. For example, Rapunzel has Pascal, her little chameleon. He's not going to be a good team-up disc. He's definitely not going to be a figure. But it'd be kind of cool to have Pascal follow you around. And yeah, exactly. Follow you around and have a little animation where he sticks out his tongue and tries to grab something. Or even a Zazu flying around you and leading the way, kind of like he leads the way for Simba when he's a little kid. Yeah. Just a little accessory, a little cool thing to have. But I don't know. What do you think about that idea?
No, but there again, that is a perfect example of something that could be brought in, and they could follow you around the whole game. And then but also that would be the other thing of maybe when they charged up, then they've got an attack. But they keep with you, just floating around you and running around. And that is the fun side of the power disc, of something you can't do maybe specifically with the toy box. And that's what I like the idea of. More, that's a cool, those little things of bringing in things that you maybe don't quite make fully 100%. It's like a Pascal, it's not, it's going to be like a critter, like running around after you kind of thing. It just would be, I think a lot of people would find that fun, and that's what you want.
All right, well, I'm going to coin that disc. I'm going to call it the companion disc. That's what it's going to be called. So yes. Disney, take notes. Companion disc. Roger, what about you? What ideas do you have as far as power disc go?
As far as the actual power discs go themselves, it's that really weird thing at the minute of, I don't know, it's really tricky because I think I look at like I say, the team-up discs. There's no particular reason why they can't go near characters they've already, Ant-Man is a perfect example of a character that has used in the team-up disc. They can do a figure for him. There's, it's a toy box. You've got Sully riding around on a Dumbo ship around the inside of the Stark Tower. Concept of reality has gone out the window at this point. So if you've got, and you can be playing a multiplayer anyway and have 4 Iron Man running around if you wanted to. So I don't see the major problem of having those team-up discs available for characters we've already seen. I know everyone wants.
You have that example with Yondu, though, obviously.
Yeah, Yondu was a perfect example of something that's kind of happened. I think like now, if they went back and they had Mr. Incredible dropping in to help you out, it would be a bit like, really? We've already kind of seen him. So everyone wants something new. But I don't have a major problem with them doing a character and then doing it a bit later on as a thing. I like team-up discs to last longer and maybe less time to charge up. I think, and I don't like the fact it was always a bit cumbersome. But I think having, just people coming in and helping out, I don't think it has to be, maybe as maybe even a special move kind of ability where, like I mean, we were playing the toy box the other week, and suddenly this big rain cloud appeared above my head, and I remember going, "What the hell is that?" And you lot all started laughing, going, "He could tell he doesn't play with power discs because he doesn't use." I'm
Yep.
like, I think I used it once when I got it and put it in the folder and never used it since. Kind of thing. I'm like, "What's that?" It's raining above my head, and like, those are the things that I didn't, I haven't used that power disc. So when it happened, it surprised me, and that's what you want to, especially if you're playing game. That's I think more of what should be in it, more fun stuff.
Yeah. For those who are listening, that was actually Zeus's Thunderbolt. I used that power disc. Actually, it's kind of funny how I used it. I almost, this is kind of funny. I kind of did a drive-by thunderstorm. I literally just zoomed right past Roger's character and hit the event disc and kept going forward, and the cloud just stuck there with Roger. So it was pretty cool how that worked out. But but anyways, yeah, that was Zeus's Thunderbolt.
But also, I mean, they need to work on the targeting, because I remember using I think the Maleficent one. Like you set it off, and if you were slightly offbeat, it didn't work because it missed everything.
Yeah.
At which point, then you've got to charge it for another 2 hours before you can use it. Because I never used those power options.
Maleficent has to definitely. You have to be facing right directly at your target, or else it's not going to work out. But,
You're right. I want to hit you with this move, so stand still.
Exactly. That's exactly it. Well, basically, as far as you got to throw some more ideas out for the people who are listening. For me, well, there was what was the other one that I had in mind? It was a weapon, and obviously, yeah, I remember now. Again, this has to have it has to do with whatever direction Disney takes with their IP or their newly acquired IP. But I always wanted, ever since we got Ghost Rider's whip, I was thinking, dude, we gotta have Indy's whip. You know what I mean? It's gonna look similar, obviously, but it's Indy's whip. You know what I mean? That's just more nostalgic, really cool.
But it'd have to. The thing is, it'd have to kind of desensitize it a bit, because I don't know if it might be too risky for them to have a whip in it.
Well, what do you mean desensitize it though? No, keep going.
It's a bit well, of what else whips could be used for. I think they have to. It's that kind of thing of has to be quite fun, because they're always a bit aware if guns have to be pops or something like that. I think a whip might be a bit of a dangerous weapon, so they might be. In fact, you can bring out a bloody rocket launcher.
We already have one of those. We already have one of those in the game with Ghost Rider.
Yeah, but it's on fire, so it's more just looks different. I don't know, I'm being a sensitive corporation person going.
Yeah,
we don't want whips. We don't want children buying a game with whips in.
Jeez, Roger, you're no fun today, man. No customization, no whips. God, I'm not allowed to do anything here.
Yeah. Was it a 50 Shades of Grey power disc?
Oh gosh, where are you headed now?
Yeah. It's just I don't know.
What I was also thinking too is, and we were talking about in our Blue Sky DuckTales. Obviously because DuckTales is headed our way eventually. I think next year. Yeah, well, no, not that one. I was thinking about Team Up Disc. I was thinking about Huey, Dewey, and Louie. That'd be kind of a cool little Team Up Disc where all three of them come out and I don't know, just start bidding up on your villains. Because you have a Team Up Disc that only lets go of one character. Well, what about a Team Up Disc that releases multiple? So obviously Huey, Dewey, and Louie would be kind of cool to have three little things targeting them.
Yeah, but also a pogo stick that everyone could use. Would be quite cool. That's a kind of, again, a more fun side of a power disc. Right, so there again, I'm going to just bring this one back up there, is get your thoughts on how you would like to see the power disc distributed in the future.
Oh, how I would like to see them distributed?
Yes.
Well, I'm still a fan of the blind bag, and let me tell you why. And there's a lot of us that are still fans of it. It's the it's the surprise element. It's the chase element. It's yeah, it's frustrating for those who go out and I'll admit I am a victim of this in wave series 1 of 1.0 and the Marvel discs. I was a victim of this, but basically in series 1 of 1.0, I remember I bought, I think it was 10 packs, and no joke, no exaggeration, 7 of those packs included Cinderella's carriage. That's right. So I had 7 duplicate discs already in the beginning. And then on the Marvel side, I had, I don't remember how many I got that time. I think it was also 10, but I had 5 of Nick Fury's event disc, and I had 4 of Gamora's costume change, her spacesuit. So it's like, okay, I get it. That's the downside of the blind bag. But the cool thing is, like, you know, you get the blind bag, you open it up, and boom, you got that one disc you were looking for. Like, I remember opening it up without cheating, not scratching like all the other people were doing for 1.0. And I remember I got Dumbo, the flying vehicle, and that was so cool because that's one of the ones that I wanted. But now that they eliminated the whole cheating aspect of it, you know, even getting, you know, something as simple as, you know, a terrain now, or Aladdin's flying carpet, which is one that I really wanted. I actually got Aladdin's flying carpet, I think, in my second pack, so it was kind of cool to.
He's still the one rare I need.
Oh, really? It's just cool to open up a pack and just be surprised. That's the reason why I like. But as far as future distribution, we're not going to see anything like Series 2 and 1.0 where they put every single disc in a folder like the one that they had for Target exclusive. We're not going to see that again because they lost a lot of money there. And to be honest with you, it was kind of weird that they decided to release that, especially having a bunch of packs already available. So it was kind of weird. But I do like the idea of them giving you 2. And again, this all before everybody says boo or everything like that. They do have to correct the way they sell this, but I do like the idea of having 2 discs exclusive to a twin pack of figures. They definitely need to make that available immediately when they make an Aladdin figure and a Jasmine figure available single. They have to make the twin pack available. Because you have people who don't care for the power discs, and you have people who do. And you know, Aladdin came out well before Jasmine did, so a lot of people had duplicate Aladdin. So if they figure that out, that'd be cool. I do like the idea of like I said, having those exclusive discs. I also like this idea, even though we still don't know 100% if this is going to be the way it's going to be done, but you know, these 2 last Marvel discs that we are waiting for, if they are indeed going to be in a twin pack, a booster, kind of like the Toys R Us exclusive discs, that's great, and they should do that for not everything, but just for a few. I think they should do more of these, not just one. But as far as distribution of the power discs, let's tone it down a little bit. Let's definitely not release everything all at once. You know, 40, and then what is it? A month and a half later, another 40. Let's go back to the way it was with Series 1, 2, and 3. Let's just do a series of 20 discs here, 20 discs here, 20. Just space it out. Yeah, because you know, it's good to have everything all at once, but I don't know. I just feel like the spacing is the biggest issue, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of liked that they did the 40 at once, because, I mean, I literally went out and bought 20 packs, unblind boxed them all, and worked out what I needed, and I would only buy the rest, or trade the rest as well. I wouldn't buy any more blind bags. Blind bags are great for kids, for, like, sort of pocket money, and I think that's the essence. I don't want to see them get rid of the blind bag experience entirely. I think going forward, if they've got Star Wars, Marvel, and Disney, a blind bag series for each would make sense. However, I would like to see maybe 20 in each series of blind bags. So just bear with me. So that would be 60 power discs already. I don't think they should ever go past 100 power discs per edition. I think they should Maybe tone down the blind bag series, spread them out a little bit better. So if you've got 3 different series, spread them out. Like you said, those toy box game disc packs or the toy box ones with Aladdin, if they're going to do that, you have to say at the beginning they have to be available at the same time. Otherwise, like last week, where I basically went to a friend's house and just gave them Aladdin because they already had it, I don't like that. I don't like having to buy a character I've already brought to get something. That was a mistake. Jasmine should have come out either at launch with that, or they should have pushed Aladdin back. I don't want to, like when they brought out Frozen and Wreck-It Ralph and Phileas and Ferb sets. If you're going to bring them out and make it easy to do. That's fine. But I don't like them feeling like they're double dipping, trying to get you to buy double it up. I also like the idea of them doing packs of specific character based or specific ones, and spread them out a bit better. There needs. I don't think there's anything wrong with spreading out and getting power discs from different options. Maybe make a special pack that's only available in Disneyland or Walt Disney World. Maybe make a pack of 5 that you can buy. All the Guardians of the Galaxy ones they're exclusive to that pack. Or do something different, but make it known. Come out at the beginning and say this is going to be coming out. We can see them all in the Hall of Heroes. Or put them all in the Hall of Heroes at the beginning, so we don't know what's coming out. So if there was something missing, you wouldn't know about it. We've known about those 2 power discs for 9 months, but they still didn't announce anything, and I think that was the damage thing. I like to see a bit more variety in how they're doing it, but they've got to be up front, and that's the key thing. I don't mind store exclusive power discs as long as they're handled correctly. And in the UK, each store got like a different power disc pack with the Toys R Us ones that you guys had. But their announcements were so bad for them, it was a bit of a chase. But it was a bit of fun trying to get them as well. So I think there's that real mix of, if they came out and said, right, Best Buy, you've got 2 packets next year that are exclusive to you. Toys R Us, you have 2 packets that are exclusive to you, etc. And they announced, we've got a visitor in on the group. Yeah. Yeah. So I don't necessarily have a problem. I like to see a more mixed variety of power discs in how they're presented. I like the idea of blind bags, spreading them out over time. I'd even get rid of. I'd get rid of the toy box packs if I was. In all honesty, I think that was more of a problem. It's a bit more pricey. I don't necessarily see the reason for them. If they went all single figures on 2.0, and then we had that Aladdin Jasmine pack, that felt like, we don't know quite what to do, but we're going to do that anyway. We got these 2 extra power discs, and we don't know how to sell them. That was what was more confusing with 2.0. There was only 1 random pack of 2. Everything else was singles, and that was the problem. I'd like to see, like we said earlier, a special power disc come out around a holiday, or say for example we've got Avengers coming out, bring out a pack for Avengers, or Cinderella's coming out this week. Maybe have a twin pack of power discs for $5 to $6 with something in there. Spread it out a little bit. Maybe make that release things a little bit. It might be a bit more expensive, so it's not worth the hassle. That it's a lot easier just to chuck them all out in a blind bag at the beginning for Disney. But I think for the game, it might be better to spread it out a little bit. I think 40 at once and then another 40. It was expensive. It was expensive all at once. I remember walking out of a store going, really? I just spent that much on 20 packs of power discs? That was a lot in one go.
Okay, so I'm going to retract what I said, and I'm going to go off of what you said too, because I kind of like that idea. But the way I say it is, I do like the spacing, but I don't like the whole dead zone where there's nothing there's nothing going on as far as power discs go. Something that we had in 1.0 was we had power discs all the way to the end. We haven't had power discs since November. Unless you count the 2 with the Aladdin pack. But what if, let's keep it under 100, like you say. I'm gonna say 90. And the way I'm saying is, they'll have a Star Wars edition, a Marvel edition, and a Disney edition. However, they'll do a Series 1 and a Series 2. So they'll release 15 discs for Disney. Then they released 15 discs for Marvel, 15 for Star Wars, and then Series 2, another 15 for Disney. I like the only reason why I say that. Yeah, I know. Yeah, I guess it's more possibility of duplicates that way, but I guess because it spreads it out, I feel like you have, you know, the ability to go in and say, oh, hey, Series 2 of Star Wars just came out. I can go get these. Oh, well, I still need to get some from Series 1 Disney. So, I don't know. I kind of like that idea.
And
Also, another thing that...
yeah.
Go ahead.
I was just adding, it'll encourage trading a bit better because I feel
Yeah.
with 2.0, it was like, boom, everything at once, and we don't really have any, who's that? Trading power discs 6 months later, nobody wants to trade because, if you do have one or two you're after, trading really did drop off a hell of a lot in 2.0.
Yeah, that's very, very true. Another thing that you tapped on that I agree with, and again, I think it's something we talked about in the past. I do like the idea of, exclusive power discs for location, like a Disney Parks exclusive. A little bag, a blind bag, a series of 10, let's say, that they had that you can get only at the parks. Or even those holiday packs that we've been talking about all this episode. Another thing that we haven't talked about and that you just asked as far as how they get distributed. I know something that Skylanders does is they have a partnership with Lay's. Well, I know Disney has had a power. I'm getting my words confused here. I know Disney has had a partnership with Kellogg's for the longest time. It'd be kind of cool if I remember when kids would actually collect.
Yes.
I don't know if it was a box top or codes from cereal boxes. Yeah, I can see Roger's disapproval, but here in the States, we like that stuff.
Yeah.
So
We're not allowed junk food anymore. Government is stopping it all. We're not allowed to, chocolate cereals are going to be in a brown box with no advertising.
Kellogg's has brand cereals too, my friend.
But the way the government are going with the food, and I think I've seen something about this before. The way that food regulatories are going with like associating junk food and kids stuff, they can't go near this with a 20-foot pole now, because I remember the days of going in your cereal box and you used to be rummaging around trying to get the toys at the bottom. The kids nowadays, like, a book.
I remember 3 months ago I bought a box of Kellogg's cereal. I forget which brand which kind it was. I think it was like I don't know, whatever. But it had sweepstakes to win a trip to Disney World. So, and then there was also another one a while back where you could submit and get, I think it was like a Baymax toy or something like that. But you have to it's all mail-in stuff.
Do you actually get toys in cereal anymore out there?
Some of them, very, very few. Yeah, that's very, very few. But most of them are now mail-in stuff. Like you get a code and you type it in. Yeah, so everything's all. Sorry. Yeah, it's all like mail-in. Well, everything's all digital now. So you submit codes and then they send you something. But anyways, what I was saying before the whole government regulatory thing, I was thinking that they could also have like a 6 power disc exclusive to Kellogg's, and you just collect the codes and submit, and then if you get all the codes, we'll mail you one of them. You know what I mean? Obviously with parental supervision or whatever.
Yeah. And available for international collectors as well, because there's nothing worse than a retailer exclusive with something that you can't even get. That's the one side of things with exclusive, is you've got to make it exclusive, but you've got to make it accessible at the same time. Like you said, if they make it maybe a limited time exclusive to Kellogg's or something like that, or other brands are available like Nestle or someone else, but I think they're missing that. They're trying to keep everyone happy with everything is available for everyone, but they've lost the chase. I mean, we've said before, how many times do you go into a store and you look at the Disney Infinity section in the hope there's something that you haven't got, even though you've got everything, because you think there might be a chase, and we do it, and I think they missed that with 2.0.
Yeah, that's true. That's very, very true. As far as distribution goes, I mean, those would be the best way. I think the blind bag should stay. I do like this whole holiday thing or specific pack thing, but Yeah, I mean everything else. I
Want a
just
bit
hope
more
that
variety.
yeah, I hope they give us a little bit more. Yeah, different options. You know, if there's anything to be exclusive, I think Paradise would be cool if they just did an exclusive. I know, like you said, it has to be available for everybody, but like you said, they lost the chase. I think they should definitely have a little bit of that aspect. I mean, Nintendo is enjoying this galore because obviously everything, almost everything that they dish out is a chase, and because of that, they're selling out completely, and obviously scalpers rejoice. But still, I mean, at least give Disney Infinity one or two things that
Yeah.
gives you that exclusivity. I mean, yeah, like you said, Black Suit Spider-Man. You think it's definitely going to be a time exclusive with the Vita. Eventually, it'll be out
I think it'll be
available
out.
to
I
everybody.
think it'll be out in the next game.
So that's the thing. I feel like maybe at least the least they can do is just the power disc and do just you know some exclusive. It doesn't have to be like tons of them, but it can be just
Yeah.
a couple of them. So
I mean, it's like I said, if Disney Store or the Disney Park kind of had a pack of 2-bit discs or 3 discs as a special thing for them, limited time, that's it. I also think they're missing out on that trick of kind of those Power Disc albums they were brought out and these collector cases. They're all accessory stuff that's all just a bit like, I don't need it. It's not essential. But the Power Discs are a lot better than that. And they're cheap and they're affordable, and I think they just missed the point. I love the blind bags, but spread it out, give us different ideas. And I think that's the key thing that I think we both kind of agree on, that we like all of it, but we want a little bit more variety in how they dish it out.
and you know what? And you kind of tapped on something, even though it's not really it's not directly about power discs, but it correlates a little bit. I really hope that with our future power discs, that they released one universal way to keep your discs
Yeah,
that span everywhere. You know what I was thinking? They could release one of those albums that just have blank spots. Don't theme it to anything, and just have blank spots so you can put power discs from 1.0 and 2.0 and everything. Like for example, I love the disc folio that they released for Marvel, but we didn't get one for Disney Originals. And it's like, okay, well, what did we get? Oh, we got the big albums that you punch and stuff. Well, wait, we didn't get one for Series 3 of 1.0.
and we
So
can't
you
get
have,
Aladdin in it.
yeah, and you can't even put your Aladdin disc in there. So it's like you have albums that are like this small, then this big, then you have this wide. It's like
Then you have a
we
tube.
need consistent. There's no consistency, and I know that has nothing to do with Disney. It's more so their partner PDP not just dropping the ball on everything. But anyways, going off of that, it's just Paradise. Uh, I wish there was just an easier way to store them. They do take up space. So
I must admit, I mean, I jumped in and I got the album this year because I needed, and I got the Disney album because I needed like 3 of the rares on the packet on the box. And I got the disc portfolio for Christmas because I was basically, I'm right at that point now where the tube's no use to me because I've got too many power discs and the albums are easier. The other day, I wanted the Mr. Toad one. I pulled out the folder, whipped it open, pulled it out. I would never have found that disc in time in the tubes, so that's why I've had to abandon. But like you said, there's too many different size albums, too many different size boxes. And I think they've got to that point. If I understand they want to do an album with those, but there needs to be a bit better communication between PDP and Disney on those albums of either this is what's happening and you need to do it, or just come out with a blank book and just say, and just put the new characters on the front and just say, well, you fill it in with, because those little like portfolio one, it doesn't matter what size they are, it doesn't matter what they are.
yeah, it doesn't matter if they're hexes or circles. I
You know,
wish they sold like just empty sleeves, and they don't sell those either.
The trouble is there's only so much stuff they can put out on the shelves, and I feel they were trying to chuck it out at all different angles. And like you say, Series 3 doesn't have an album, and then you've got different size ones for the Marvel ones. You didn't get the portfolio for the Disney side. My album collection is a complete mess. It doesn't. People want that. I understand. It's just there needs to be some kind of conformity with it all, and I think you're right. But then that's again, maybe Disney need to take it back in house and deal with it themselves, rather than outsourcing and that communication delay of things not being right. It felt like PDP came out of all the like the Disney, the Marvel stuff, but there was never any Disney side of it. There was no new tube. You know, they had the Marvel tube, but they thought, well, we've still got the Blues and the Greds out, and from last year we don't need them anymore. There didn't seem to be any other than those big, huge albums, and it all felt a bit last minute.
Yeah, definitely. There's a huge disconnect between the two. That's something that I got from E3 last year as well. So
Yeah.
But Paradise.
Yes, we want to know. Yeah, we want to know what you guys think. What do you want to see? How do you want to see them distributed? What do you like? What you don't like? Comment below. Let us get in touch with us and feed it all back to us. If you are watching on YouTube, remember to hit that subscribe button, give us a thumbs up, and if you're on iTunes, give us a review on there and subscribe on there as well. Check us out at DisKingdom.com and all of our other social medias. You can find us on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and all the rest. Okay, so we have got our new. Does he play chopsticks?
Yes, he does.
That was the first thing that come to mind. Then let's get the cat on to do it. So here's our special guest.
This is Wally.
Yeah, he's going to be announcing some exclusive characters if you can understand it in cat language. we said,
Aristocats. We want Aristocats.
what we could do is if we could put maybe a microphone on attached to him and just release him into the Disney Interactive Studio so we can.
Yeah, I'm gonna put a GoPro on him and see what he can do. Hopefully he won't just plop down and just go to sleep, but
Yeah.
we'll figure that out later. We'll figure out the logistics.
No, that's cool. Okay, guys, thank you very much for joining us, and to the lovely cat for joining us as well. And we shall see you guys next week.
Laters.
Laters.
Bye.